Well, hello, 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 and welcome to WAM Wednesday for June 16th, 2021. Look what just happened. We are already through half the month already, so I hope that your goals are going right. But I tell you, it slips up on you, and these Wednesdays, they just show up every week. So we are here today to help you with your accountability just a little bit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because we want to hop into self mastery. We got part 5 of 5. You guys have been hanging in with me. You're waiting for these last 5, and this is going to be an awesome day for you. But go back and grab these things. I know someone emailed me the other day and says, dude, that's a lot of content for free. And I said, yeah, well, we do that sometimes. This is a great one that we do charge for normally in our, but we haven't been able to do a lot of lives, obviously, lately out in the rotaries and different places. So I just had the hankering to do this one, so I wanted to give it to you, and I hope it's helping you. But we're always here to help you out however we can. I've got a big one that is not going to be free in July called it's our big leadership series. But enjoy this one. I hope you get a lot out of it. I'm going to hop in real quick. To accountability here, and then we'll hop back out of it. But I'm just going to go through it real quick with you because I don't want to spend a great deal of time today on it. You guys know what to do. Just get out there and do it. But let me get rid of this thing here for you so you can see it. And I'll make it a little bit big, and I'll be right back. But the percentage of key actions that you executed last week, you know what to do. Hop that in there. Again, if you're not familiar with our weekly accountability meetings, reach out to me if you need a copy of this or just to grab you a Phoenix Journal. That's what we use every single week at A to B for me. So we go through these, but you want to go through, do your percentage of key actions. Then again, what victories from the past week are you most proud of? And then when we do these one-on-one, of course, we go through these with you and kind of diagnose this stuff for you. But think about, what do I need to improve upon most? That's what your reflect, plan, execute is about every week. And then, of course, put your gratitudes in there. You know, what are you grateful for that happened last week? And let's look forward to the next week. How can you live life to the fullest in really these key areas: relationship, recreation, personal health, and work? And I think if you get all 4 of those wrapped up, you're gonna be able to encompass all of your goal sets, everything that you've got in your well-rounded goal circle. So work on those. What are you going to do in those areas? And then work your goals for this next week. These are your 1, 2, 3, or 4, your key goals. Again, you might want to make one of these to-do list if it's really not it's kind of tough to do 4 big goals because it's just hard to get those areas done all in 1 week. But 1 or 2, maybe 3 a week, and you'll get these things done, because we want them to be specific, actionable, and measurable. So make sure you do that. And then put down here what you're looking for most this week. And if you could accomplish just one big thing, what would that be? Again, usually those are pretty much the same things with me. And then we've got a habit tracker for you down here. So if you're not doing habit tracking, especially after you've been through this self-mastery thing with me, you better be on have some habit tracking. So get your habit tracker going, and if you need any help with that, just be sure and reach out to me. All right. Well, sorry I flew through it this week, but we got a lot to go over, and I just didn't want to spend a lot of time on this. But again, our one-on-one folks, we obviously will go into this deeper on our call. But anyway, all right, let's get into self-mastery. Master these 10 habits and be the master of your world. Now, mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. And that's what we're wanting to do for you. So we're going to do session 5 of 5, and then we're going to be talking about the last 5 of those habits. So if you missed the rest of them, just hop back in the feed. You'll find them and grab them and get caught up. All right, I'm going to start with a couple of quotes for you. The first is by Margaret Heffernan. The truth won't set us free until we develop the skills and the habit and the talent and the moral courage to use it. And I tell you what, that is what we're talking about right here. When we're talking about, what would you love doing so much of that the words failure and success essentially become irrelevant. What is your life purpose? But you got to develop those skills. You got to develop the habit, the talent, and the moral courage to use it. And then I love Deepak Chopra here. It says the real key is to live in an environment where the mind feels free to choose the right thing instead of being compelled by habit and inertia to choose the wrong thing. So if you went through the last couple sessions, how to get good habits, how to develop good habits, and then breaking bad, this will really help you out, and then Habit Tracker will too. But the real key, again, to live in this environment and to achieve mastery is to get to a state where the mind feels free to choose the right thing instead of being compelled by habit and inertia to choose the wrong thing. And this, again, includes environment, people you're around, whole 9 yards. So go back and just make sure that you're understanding what you need to do. All right, well, let's look at number 6, and that is control your impulses. So we got another button, impulse control. I know a lot of you, this is your downfall right here. You're doing great until something gets out there and gets you excited. I got a dog at Sophie, and she's pretty good off a leash when I'm out with her until she's challenged. Right, the deer comes around or something, then I can yell all I want to, and the ears just shut up. Right, I don't know. Nobody's calling me. I'm just heading for the deer or heading for whatever. Right, and that happens to you. All the best intention. You're on your best behavior. Everything's going great, and all of a sudden that impulse control button just where is it? You lost it because something came up. Someone called you. You saw somebody. You saw something, and the wheels fell off. Right? We've all made unwise decisions during times of stress and fatigue, and that's when a lot of times it happens. Again, when you're stressed or fatigued, you might look for the wrong things, right? Might be looking for the bottle, might be looking for the bag of chips, maybe looking for love. I don't know what you're looking for, but when you're in times of stress and fatigue, you can make some unwise decisions. So when you have the urge to do something, it's best to take a moment and reconsider. I talked about the pause a couple of weeks back on our weekly challenge. So think about that pause and always just try and take 3 deeps, right? I mean, how many times have you eaten something you shouldn't have? Said something you wish you hadn't. Now, no one here has never done that. Or, you might be raising your hand already, but we've all said something that we wish we hadn't. Man, can we just have a retake on that? Can I rewind that situation? Spent money you wish you had saved. Well, yeah, you do. I mean, you're sitting here right now thinking about, daggone, if I hadn't done that, I'd have money to do this. I'd have some money in the bank if I didn't just spend it all. Quit something you wish you had maintained. And a lot of times, and a lot of you, this is like your databases or maybe some licenses or just something that you were, some strategy or something that your systems you had going and you quit. And now you're looking back and saying, daggone, if I just maintain that. And a lot of times it's financial, when you're young, if you just start putting back, a couple $100 a month, man, by the time you get to be my age, you got nothing to worry about. I mean, just because of the power of compounding will help you out. So, but the power of compounding will help you on other things other than just finances. And that's what we talked about, obviously, in the compound effect with Darren Hardy. But a lot of times we do quit something we wish you had maintained. And we all have impulses to do things that we shouldn't. A habit to control your impulses is similar to taking a moment when you feel triggered to engage in a bad habit. And we talked about that last session. You got to figure out what those triggers are and use these strategies. We've got some few coming up here to control your impulses and stop sabotaging yourself because you're just setting yourself up for failure. And I tell you what, a lot of times you talk about all the outside influences, but really the biggest challenge that you have on the road to success is generally yourself. And it's that person in the mirror. And you got to get up every morning and get that one straight first, right? So let's talk about a couple of these. One is notice that you're feeling out of sorts, right? We generally don't behave impulsively while we're cool, while we're calm, while we're collected. Everything's going great, right? And we're impulsive when we're stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, or feeling excited or euphoric. So notice when you're not feeling calm and comfortable. So the first step to controlling impulsiveness is knowing when you're likely to make an impulsive decision, right? And this triggers the next step. So again, you got to know that those triggers that are causing you to do that. And when you get those triggers, again, take a long pause. Just Take 3 deeps. Get out of the situation. Don't reply to that email. Sleep on it. All these things. But avoid taking action until you've had time to cool your jets a little bit. Just don't react to everything. Remember, E plus R equals O. The event is going to happen, and there's going to be an outcome to that event. But what changes that is your reaction. It can either be positive or negative. So maybe take a walk or meditate. We talked about meditate last week. Meditate. Just sit back, take it easy, find a way to relax before you make a decision. So just cool off, take a pause. The world's not going to end while you're figuring it out. But some of your world can really get disruptive if you don't take that pause. But you got to be logical and thoughtful. Right? You do the Spock thing, Dr. Spock thing. Right? Ask yourself, Mr. Spock, ask yourself what the smart decision is in this circumstance. Ignore your emotions and be logical. Right? Get your pointy ears on and be logical. You know what you should do rather than what you feel the urge to do. Okay, so you just got to sit back and think about it, because what's going to happen is tomorrow you're going to go back and say, man, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I don't know why I did that. Well, just sit back and think about it before you do it, right? And then take appropriate action. All that's left is taking the smart action and feeling good about it at that point, because now you got something you can put on your weekly review there and say, hey, yeah, this is one of my successes for last week. I had this situation that come up, and I tell you, it could have went all kinds of sideways, but I took my time. I took 3 deeps. I thought about it, slept on it, and I came up with the right decision and made it happen. So that's all you got to do. Just control those impulses. All right. So the question is, can you control your impulses, right? This is one of the most important habits, because it allows you to avoid making those big mistakes that can be impossible to recover from fully. Now, most of our mistakes are not fatal. But they are tough to recover from fully in some respects. And you made a few huge mistakes in the past. You know what they are. I know what all mine are. My wife definitely knows what all mine are, because she reminds me of them all the time. But creating this habit will help you to avoid them, right? And God bless Jan. She's been through a lot with me, so she deserves to beat me up. But let's talk about impulse management again real quick. Just a quick recap. A, stop. Gasp a long, deep breath, man. Just take it easy. Take it in, and then think of your options, and then go with your best choice, okay? But, man, stop for a while. Just don't hit that accelerator. Keep that brake on until you're ready to go, and then release them and go with whatever you come up with, and then you don't regret it, because it doesn't make any difference if you regret it or not. Just go with it, right? But if you thought about your options and go with your best choice, you'd probably be all right. All right, so let's control those impulses. 7, listen. Oh my goodness gracious! You tell me I gotta listen? We've all heard the saying, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? So why you talking so daggone much? But listening well, I tell you, it just does you a lot of good. It increases your communication skills, even if you can't talk, tremendously. Listening is half the battle, and it is, but it isn't always easy, because we got so much to say, and we got to let everybody know, right? But being able to listen also takes your charisma to a whole other level. And you say, wait a minute, I got charisma when I'm telling people what to do. Well, people love it when you pay attention to them, and charisma is largely about making others feel good in your presence. So that's the key to really relationships. The key to developing leadership potential is sitting here and having the presence of mind to pay attention to people, and developing the habit of listening intently will enhance your life in many ways. And we're going to go over a few of those. But again, just people love it. When you pay attention to them, and you're not paying attention to them when you're running your mouth and running over them when they're trying to tell you something. So, folks, we just got to listen, right? Okay, well, try some techniques. Let's talk about this. Here's these 2 guys here. I love these guys listening. I remember we used to do that. I don't know that it ever really worked, but I remember doing it. That when someone is speaking to you, give them your full attention. Okay? Don't be working on your phone. Don't be looking to the left, looking right, looking over, trying to look at your count, whatever. Look at them. This means that you're not looking around the room or thinking about something else. It's like meditating. But the subject of your meditation is your communication partner. Okay? So be sure that you're just paying attention in the moment. Your phone's going to be there. Don't worry about it. Wait for your turn to speak, right? Don't, I know a lot of you just can't wait for someone to get to the last word so you can blurt what you want to get out. But it also means you're not spending your listening time thinking about what you want to say. And that's what happens a lot of times. You're sitting here and they say a few things, and then you're trying to figure out what you're going to say back, and you miss the whole last half of the conversation with them and miss the point. So it's better to listen well and then take a moment to craft your reply. And I mean, people will appreciate that when you're talking to them and you got that pause, and then you can maybe look up, or whatever. But just sit there and say, okay, well, let's review this and let's go through it again and let's get it done, right? But ensure that you understand the other person. So you might need to ask questions and be certain that you're getting the correct message. And this is very, very important in the realm of sales. And of course, we're in sales every day. Whether you're a salesperson or not, you're in sales every day. So whether it's a relationship or whatever it is, be sure that you ask the questions and be certain that you're getting the right message. And that's what goes on today in this Facebook world and all this texting and all this emailing, is you're missing the connotations or missing something in that verbiage, and you're just going, you read something and that's not what they meant to say. And it might be the other person's fault for writing it and not clarifying it, but you want to clarify it. Don't just go and just go crazy on this, but try these techniques to develop effective listening skills. All right, build this habit because it's going to help your communication skills in several ways and enhance your level of likability. And everybody likes likes, right? Everybody wants to be liked, and those that listen well are going to be popular. I'm telling you, if you just sit down with someone and you just listen to them, they are just going to love you, because what do people love most? They love to talk about their self. So allow them to do that. You have plenty of opportunities to practice. Everyone you speak to is another opportunity to hone in this habit. So today, tomorrow, practice this. Build this habit, especially build it with your significant other, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, your kids, and take some time and listen, right? All right. Number 8, create a to-do list. Now, we've talked about to-do lists a lot today, to be for me, and of course, getting mixed up sometimes between to-do lists and habit planners, this, that, and the other, but there's a lot of ways and a lot of different characteristics of a to-do list, and you can put it however you want to. You can do it on paper, you can post notes all over your world, have it in your phone. I like a great combination of all of them, right? I want it in my journal. I put a reminder on my phone. I may have post-it notes all over my dashboard or my all over my desk, over my mirror, whatever. Do whatever you got to do. But if you get up each day without a list of priorities, how will you ensure that the most important things will be addressed, right? You got to get your big 3 up there, whatever it is, your big 1, whatever it is for the day. You want to get that big old hairy goal taken care of. And so if you don't know what it is, and you don't plan for it, well, you just can't. You got to put it out there. You got to know what it is. And I love this picture of the highlighters. You know me and my highlighters, man. I got pink ones and yellow ones and blue ones and green ones and purple ones and orange ones. And they all mean something. And about half the time I remember what that is. And I got post-it notes everywhere, and I got sticky notes. But a great habit to have if you want to master your world is to spend some time each evening making a list of what you want to accomplish tomorrow. And again, this is nothing more than reflect, plan, execute. If you don't reflect on what happened, you're not going to be able to plan for what needs to happen, and you're not going to be able to execute, because then you're going to know exactly what needs to be done, and do your planning at night and attack during the day. Because if you do this stuff the night before, it has time to sit in that brain of yours. And when you get up, your brain is ready to roll. And maybe your brain's figured out a bunch of things already while you were sleeping. So you don't even have to think about them anymore. But if you get up in the morning and all of a sudden you start checking on these lists, now you're all stressed because A, you're probably already behind. And you don't have time to properly think these things through. So be sure that you get your goals, get your key actions, get your key productive indicators all in here. And that's why, again, I'm going to go back to the Phoenix Journal one more time, several times probably today, because it's just so dadgum important to have a great plan and have everything in one place. So learn how to make an effective to-do list and get the most out of each day, okay? And the bottom line here is planning is not optional, okay? It just is not optional. If you're going to succeed, if you're going to be a master of anything in your life, you have to plan. So sit down each evening and plan for tomorrow. What needs to be accomplished? Are there bills that need to be paid? What are you going to work on? What errands need to be run? Pay particular attention to your goals, right? What are your goals for the week? Remember those 4 big goals, or how many goals you got each week? Look at that weekly plan every week. What am I supposed to be doing this week? What needs to be done to bring you closer to your goals? So what are those specific, measurable, and actionable items that you can do, those key productive indicators? And prioritize these things. There's a good chance you have a longer list than you can manage, right? I mean, you just put a whole list of things that you got to do. Now, not all of them are key productive indicators. Some of them are just tasks that you might want to get done, right? Not something that's going to kill you, but you're going to have your key actions and you're going to have your tasks. And then eliminate what you can keep, the tasks that aren't that important to you, right? So a lot of times I've got a whole list of things I want to do, and then I'll just keep airing them over, right? If I can get to them, I get to them. If I can't, I can't. But I always get my key actions done because I want to know what the outcomes are of those key actions. All right, number 3, keep your to-do list manageable. You can't be incredibly successful without killing yourself, right? I mean, you can be incredibly successful without killing yourself. You just have to be, organized is more. It's just what you got to do. But consistency is the key. And I tell you, the only magic pill, everybody's saying, what's the one thing? What's the magic pill, right? The only magic pill ever is consistency. And persistence. Those are the two. But if you got consistency, it's going to happen for you. And if you're putting in the necessary time each day and focus your energy on the most critical tasks, you're going to be successful. But notice each day, not every now and then, not when you feel like it. What, I feel good today? Yeah, I'll do that today. No, every day. Consistency is the key, and it's the only magic pill. Now, enjoy checking those things off of your list each day. Get excited about it. That's why we do the weekly accountability meetings. Everybody, I don't want to do it every damn week, do the same damn forms. Well, yeah, I want you to get excited about it. The subconscious has to understand we are making progress here. So I don't mind putting up with a little garbage because I know we're doing some good things. So you have to remind yourself every week how well you did over the last week. And that seems like a simple idea. Well, you have to know that you're getting closer to mastering your life and your world. So you're tracking these things, obviously, right? And that's why we want to back things back and look at the 12-week year instead of trying to plan these things all the way out there, right? Because things happen. And so you don't want to micromanage, but you want to bring things down to where you can really address them as they need to be addressed and be flexible enough to where you can make some changes if you need to. And it seems to be like a simple idea that might not matter, but you'd be wrong to believe that because time management, planning, and all these things, that is everything. That is everything. And it's easy to get off track and waste time if you don't have a plan for your day, especially in these times when folks are working out of the house. A friend of mine told me about a gal that suddenly she was working out of her place, and she's just having so much issues because there were so many distractions, things she could do, right? The cat scratching or something, and then she said, oh, well, I'm going to go just throw this load of laundry in real quick. And then, oh, goodness gracious, there's a couple of dishes I can wash. And just keep yourself distracted, but it's easy to get off track if you don't have a plan. It only takes a few minutes, and it can make a huge difference in the results you create in your life. So Grab a journal. It doesn't have to be the finish journal. There's a picture of one. But grab something. Grab some planner. Grab some way that you can make these things happen. But I'm telling you, writing it down makes a huge bit of difference. It really does, because you've got that record. And I know we're living in a digital world, and everybody's like messing on their phones, messing on their iPads, and everything else. But writing it down just really cements it into the brain. So think about just getting a journal and keeping it all organized. But again, talk about scope and tools and your productivity, your scheduling, your goals, all these things. Give it a try. I think if you're not doing it, you're really, really missing out. And it's probably one of the reasons why you're not making it happen. All right, number 9, be a finisher. Huh. You mean I can't just start things? I gotta finish things? Most of us are good at planning out the path to achieving our goals, right? We've worked on our vision board. Man, it's pretty. We know what we're going to get. We know what we want to do. But some people are pretty good at getting started, and some of them are good at making some real progress, right? But far fewer are experts at crossing the finish line. You just can't keep it going. You get started, you're rolling, things are happening, and all of a sudden, squirrel, you get distracted and you go off base, and all of a sudden the progress stops. Well, developing the habit of finishing what you start can be a watershed moment for many of you, and it's common to quit before reaching the goal. It just is. That's 95% of the folks out there. We're good at doing a lot of things 9% of the way, but not completing them. We get a lot of things done, but we just don't quite get it there. So we have to learn to finish what we start. So let's look at how we might do that. Number 1, finish every task consistently. And we talk about this in the compound effect about completing these contracts, right? You don't want to leave open-ended contracts out there because again, the subconscious has now got all this stuff in there. The conscious mind's getting all messed up because it doesn't know what to do because there's so many loose ends out there. You got to wrap these things up. If you're washing the dishes, wash all the dishes. Seriously? I mean, just get it done. Get it clean plate, get it done. No pun intending, but clean plate, get it done. Just get it over with. If you're going to do it, do it. Don't leave the greasy frying pan soaking with the intention of dealing with it tomorrow. Just go ahead and do it. I mean, a lot of times folks look at me and they say, dude, I don't understand. You cleaning everything while you're cooking. Well, yeah, you got time. Stuff's cooking, stuff's simmering, stuff's searing, whatever it is. You got some time. So clean something up and put it up, right? But do the entire job. You'll feel resistance creeping in when you get toward the end of something. You just will. You're going to feel this. I know you're thinking about it right now, but you're going to feel this resistance. Well, that's your cue. That's your cue to get determined to finish. Anytime you feel that resistance coming along, that should be your cue to get rolling. And then you got to really dig into the task and power your way to the end. I know a lot of folks, you just get so distracted, and you look around right now, you probably got a bunch of 90% or 80% sitting out there. But let's go ahead and let's check these things off and let's get them completed. And whether you clean the garage, write an email, or going shopping for groceries, complete the task and avoid allowing yourself to finish it tomorrow or later. Because I'll tell you what, sometimes tomorrow just never comes. And I tell people all the time, so I was going to do that, but I'm sick today. Well, were you sick yesterday? When you should have done it. When you should have done it, you should have done it. And then you wouldn't have to worry about it. So you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know what's going to happen right now. You got it in your planner. Go ahead, finish it, and check it off. Get it out of your mind. Then enjoy the feeling of completing that task, right? I nailed it. Woohoo! I got it. It's done. Man, that is awesome. I got a action done, right? And this habit will largely take care of itself after a while because you're going to get that reward system going. Remember, you got the habit, you got the cues, and then you're going to get in, you're going to do the habit, and then you're going to reward yourself. And most people learn to enjoy the relief and sense of accomplishment that comes from completing a job 100%. And most of the time, just that feeling is reward enough. But feel free to set up a reward system if you need to. If it's a huge task, give yourself a little reward. But again, be sure the reward doesn't mess up what the goal was, right? It's not doing enough to be a good planner, but in starter, you got to learn to be a good finisher. And that's why folks don't succeed. They just don't finish for one reason or the other. They have great intentions, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I always heard that more than one time in my life. But don't worry, you might have good intentions, but you got to get it done. And again, a vision board is awesome, but you got to have a damn good action board to keep you on track. But master the art of finishing what you start, and you'll be shocked by how much this habit influences your life, because finishing is a necessary part of success and self-mastery. And when you are a finisher, you're going to know it. Your subconscious is going to know it. The people around you are going to know it. People are going to start noticing, man, when she says she's going to do something, that girl does it, right? And just can get you a nailed it button. Put that stuff on yourself. You want to go out and buy one, just make one. Put that nailed it sticker on yourself and look at yourself in the mirror or whatever. But give yourself some kudos and make that part of your success every week. Write that down. I nailed that. I got to 100%. All right. And number 10, oh my goodness, now you're really getting in my jam. Get up early, right? Successful people do what unsuccessful do not. They wake up. My goodness gracious, and you got to wake up with a reason and with a passion. Get up and at 'em, folks. While many successful people, they are known to sleep relatively little anyway, because they just got so much to do and they're so excited and ready to roll. There are just as many highly successful people that sleep 9 or more hours each night. They get up early and they get started on their day. And that's what you need to do. You need to be getting up a little earlier. And it doesn't matter if it's 5:30 in the morning, it's 5:30 in the afternoon. It depends on what your job is and what you're doing. You just want to, again, start getting up early and getting after it. And a few things feel better than getting something meaningful accomplished while everyone else in the neighborhood's still sleeping, right? I mean, that's me in the morning. When I get up, well, all right, no doubt the kind of daylight savings time now, but in the fall and winter, it's still dark outside and it's quiet. I mean, there's nobody around, right? But you're getting so much done. And so you look up the clock and go, man, all right, it's 7 o'clock and I already got 3 of my deals done, right? But just don't start emailing people, because I used to do that. When I was getting up way early. I used to get up like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd forget about it, right? I'd be working, all of a sudden about 4:35, I start emailing people, and people are like, "What in the hell are you emailing me at 5 o'clock in the morning for?" So be cognizant that other people might not be up yet, but getting up early doesn't mean that you shortchange yourself on sleep, because we've always talked about time shift. You want to think about time shifting, and that's how these folks they're successful get 9 or more hours each night of sleep, because they time shift. And let's talk about that just a little bit. But studies repeatedly show that everyone performs better in every imaginable way if they receive at least 7 hours of sleep each night. Now, I know a lot of folks will say, I only get like 5, I get like 6. Well, good for you. I mean, there are people that have those exceptions, and you can perform great doing that. But the bottom line is, you may not be the exception, right? You may need that sleep. So allow yourself enough time to get a full night's sleep so you can perform properly. This is going to mean going to bed earlier if you're going to get up earlier. All right, this makes sense. Just balance it out. So I'm telling you, most of us don't do anything productive the last couple of hours leading up to bedtime. We just don't. We're just sitting there watching TV or wasting our time, right? Now, I DVR a lot, and I like to that, because it lets my brain kind of go off into never land, not even not thinking land. The TV shows out there today, you don't have to be on top of them. I mean, because most of them are brainless anyway. But it's just something to kind of relax your brain for me. But you don't need to watch TV or play around online right up to the time you go to bed. You definitely don't need to do it when you should be in bed. So maybe time shift. If you're going to get up at 5 in the morning, go to bed at 9. I mean, you just get used to it. I mean, the kids are already down. Wife's sleep on a recliner. Just go ahead. There's nothing else going on. Just go ahead and go to bed, and then get up early, and just get up and get it rolling. And the most common wake up time for most high successful people seems to be about 5 in the morning. It's very, very common. That's when we get up. It might seem early, but it's only early if you go to bed late. So just time shift yourself and play with it. Yeah, it's going to be tough at first, especially during daylight savings time, because it's just barely dark by 9 o'clock or 8:30, somewhere in there. But just just work on your time shift, and remember, Benjamin Franklin said, "Earlier to bed, earlier to rise, makes a man or a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise." And that is so true, because you're going to get a lot done so early in the morning and get it taken care of. So, in conclusion, many believe that the purpose of life is to learn how to master yourself, and by extension, master your world. And that's what we've been talking about these last 5 sessions. But habits are an important part of this process, obviously. That's all we've talked about pretty much, because we all have habits. And some of the habits serve us. Of course, others can inhibit our success or even destroy us. That's what we talked about. But the power of habits can't be overstated. That's why we talk about habit trackers. That's why we talk about this all the time. That's why on our A to B strategy, again, down there in the bottom right corner, you got thoughts, actions, and then habits. And habits are that roadblock to get between getting to your character and reaching your destiny. You've got to get the habits taken care of. And your health, physique, educational success, and career have all been developed primarily through your habits. And if you haven't had a great health, if you don't have a great physique, if you haven't had great educational success or a great career, it's probably because you have the wrong habits, right? So we need to take those, we need to get those right. And so look at someone, you can look at anybody and predict many of their habits just by what they've done, who they are, the people that follow them, the people they hang out with, and you can tell. And I love this by Frank Clark. A habit is something you can do without thinking, because that really is the definition of it. The subconscious just says, "Hey, we're going to do this," which is why most of us have so many of them, because we just automatically do these and we don't think about them anymore. And that's why when we talk early on in this series about looking at those things and diagnosing what you're doing. But habits have been studied by many of the great philosophers. We quoted a bunch of them here. It's not something new. They've been a source of amazement and frustration for thousands of years. This isn't the first rodeo for habits, right? The intellectuals of the past were aware of the power of habits and their importance in learning to master yourself. And that's why we spend so much time at A to B for me, going back and looking at the thought leaders of the past and thought leaders of the current, because they've been there, they've done that, and history just repeats itself. And habit change is huge. If you can't manage your habits, you can't truly manage yourself. All right. Well, the good news is new habits can be created with intention and effort. We talked about that. We talked about how to set those up. And we talked about breaking bad. Those bad habits can be eliminated. Though, it can be challenging. There's no doubt about it. We talked about that. But some habits have the power to transform your life for the better. And again, in diagnosing those things, that's why I want to go through this list of 10 of the best habits to master. Because while you're doing 25 push-ups each day is great for your arms, your shoulders, your back, it doesn't have far-reaching impacts as making the most of your mistakes. So when you're looking at failing forward, that's really is what's going to make a difference in your life. And the only way that you're going to fail forward is to change these habits. So look at what happened. Again, reflect, plan, execute. What didn't happen? What habit caused me to do that? What I need to change, and how do I change it? Now, over time, you can implement and remove a lot of these habits, but your ability to handle more than one at a time is limited. So we talked about that in both getting new ones and breaking bad ones. You got to prioritize the habits you want to create or destroy. Okay, and we're not talking about getting rid of them. We want to destroy them, obliterate them, get them out of your life so they're not even recognizable and they're not going to be a part of your conscious anymore. Because consciousness is a phase of mental life which arises in connection with the formation of new habits. And when habit is formed, consciousness only interferes to spoil our performance. You might need to read that one a couple of times. But I'll tell you what, it's just crazy how the conscious and the unconscious or the subconscious mind work. Now you can eventually get all the bad habits, all the good habits, but be intelligent in how you approach it. You've just got to have patience. Rome wasn't built in a day. Overnight, there's very few overnight successes. We've talked about that. Overnight successes are people who've been working on it for a decade and finally they found the right thing, and all of a sudden everybody's like, "What? This guy is so smart." Well, he's been zigging and zagging for 10 years. He ought to be smart, right? Oh, you need to master the necessary habits, and you'll master yourself and your life. The world is your oyster, there's no doubt about it, if you can use the power of habits to your advantage. So if you want to be a master, you've got to take care of those habits. All right, well, I promised you that we were going to have a few things on a worksheet, and we're going to talk about, do you know the secret? Right? And we're talking about the movie, The Secret. I think we even have a new movie come out, The Secret, now. But the secret to mastering yourself and your world is through your habits. That is the secret. I mean, that's the bottom line right there. If you control your habits, you got it done. So take a look at any part of your life, any part, and think about how your habits have influenced it. Just all your goal areas, just take a look at, let's diagnose it, and think about how your habits have influenced it. And obviously you'll find that good habits are supportive and negative habits are destroyers. And you're going, well, duh. Well, yeah, duh, but what have you done about it? Well, with the right habits, you can have the ultimate power over yourself and your life. So I'm going to got 7 questions here, and I want you to answer these questions to gain a better perspective of how your habits can be used to gain control over your future. So let's look at these. I have got the 7. You'll see that I'm lying immediately because I got sub questions in here, but we got 7 main questions you want to ask yourself. You want to write these down, or if you want to reach out to me, I can give you a PDF of it if you want to use it as a worksheet and put in your planner. But what are my goals and what habits will help me reach them? Now, we kind of go over that every week, don't we? In our weekly accountability meeting. You're like, wow, hey, okay, there is a reason for us doing that. So what are your goals and what habits will help me reach them? That's why we have a habit tracker on the dadgone page. Now, what are my negative habits and how are these habits harming me? Right? So you got habits that you want to change, habits you want to create. Habit tracker. And what's the most important habit for me to create? We're looking at again, reflect, plan, execute every single week. What could I have done better? What did I succeed at? And let's figure out what is the most important habit for me to create. And then what is the most important negative habit for me to give up? And how's that going to help me? So as we're looking at these things, we've got to write these things down. We've got to get this list going. You might do a Ben Franklin close, some on the left, some on the right. What's good, what's bad, what's helping me, right? What are the mistakes I've made this week, and what can I learn from them? Don't we talk about that every week? What went right, what went wrong? How can I make it better, right? When would be the best time for me to meditate each day? And do I know enough about meditation to get started? Now, we talked about, that was my number 1, right? Meditation was my number 1 habit to mastery is meditation. So find out when the best time for you to do it is, and let's go out and let's get you some help figuring out how to do it. And again, you can go up on a lot of different meditation apps, or you can go up on Beachbody to our on-demand program. And we got plenty of programs up there you can get through. Just get with me, we can help you out. But figure out when you can do it. It's just so important that you get meditation in your life. In what areas of my life do I feel out of control? And what habits can I create or eliminate to restore equilibrium in those areas? So if you got out of control areas, it's nothing more than habit change. So look at those things. Let's look at these 7 questions. I guarantee you get these 7 questions, and these ought to be every week ones, right? And that's why we have them in our weekly accountability meeting. But you can just take this thing, print it off, and put that in there, and that's your weekly accountability meeting, pretty much right there. But you got to know your goals and stuff. But this will help you diagnose your habits and help you get things on track. All right. Well, that's it for self mastery. Went through that for you. I hope you had a great time, got a lot out of it. That's the whole purpose of me sitting here and doing these things. We've been running kind of long each week, but that's I wanted to give you some great content and some great knowledge over the last 5 weeks here to get you going in June, so that your second half of your year can get wrapped up. Now, if you need more, obviously A to B for me, reach out to us. We got Deep Dive to Destiny, which really covers our core components here of the compound effect, miracle morning, and atomic habits, and we will really hone in on those habits during these three, and we'll hone on some skills. We'll work on how to re-engineer your day, and really just let's talk about all things we've been talking about over the last several weeks. But by putting a deep dive Destiny, you get it done. You can knock that out in about 60 days. We got Deep Dive Destiny down to a 60-day program, and we've added a couple of personal coaching opportunities there for you, well, so we get to know each other. And then 84 days for those of you who are really want to take it to the next level. 84 days is key. It's one that you really don't want to miss, because it's your time to be the best you can be. And in 84 days, and if you divide that out, what is that? Oh, that's 12 weeks. Imagine somebody thought about that. But we're going to take 12 weeks. I'll tell you all, we're going to change your world in 12 weeks. We're going to not only go through Deep Dive to Destiny, but we're going to add in there Phoenix Journal, the 12-week year. We're going to add some Rhythm of Life stuff. I tell you what, it's a really great series for you. Because Tony Robbins says the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. So let's get out there. We're here for you, A to B for me. I'm going to hop back in here real quick and say goodbye to you. Let me see, where is that button? I think it's right over here somewhere. Oh, dude, it wasn't that one, was it? There we go. Okay. I'll hop up big for you since I took everything out. All right. Well, we're going to have a great weekend. I hope you do as well. But go back if you need to take a look at this stuff again. Take a look at it. But we got Thursday. We got Thrive Thursday coming up tomorrow. I've got another good one for you there, as we always do. And then we got a big Finish Strong Friday on Friday for you. So we're not done with you. We're not going to do any more 45 or 60-minute ones, I don't think. So I just want to give you some great content here. But we'll get something to get you through the weekend and get you ready for the next week. But have a great one. And as always,